Up, here you go. So this is now cutting to actual gameplay.
Okay.
One of the first reactions that we got from people seeing the trailer was, wow, the trailer's really cool, it looks awesome, but that's not really what the game is like.
That's what I was going to ask. I was about to beat you up saying, like, where's the game? And just
So-
like that, it
so
happens.
I'm excited to announce that that trailer is exactly what the game is like.
Wow.
You parkour through the cities, you fight the monsters, you fight, dismember, and destroy the ogres. Everything is completely destructible, all of the environments. The gameplay emphasizes high-speed traversal through the environment.
Yeah.
You can run on and cling on everything, run horizontally, vertically along walls, along enemies, ogres, everything, bounce off of objects in the environment. You can air dash through the sky, and he can use his whip like a grappling hook to pull himself around. Actually, when he does that, time slows down, giving him a chance to kind of plan his next move. So here you can see Avil fighting against some of the ogre's minions in the real-time skill-based combat that we've got. He has the ability to cancel his attacks into a variety of different kinds of moves, including launchers, backslams, AoE attacks, dodges, powerful rune strikes. And actually, the combat in this game has been designed by the guys at Iron Galaxy, who are famous for their work on fighting games like Killer Instinct and Street Fighter III Third Strike Online Edition and Dive Kick.
All right. So.
Yeah. So one of the things that we're really excited about is that when you're fighting these giant ogres, you are really fighting these giant ogres. The environments are completely destructible, and so are the ogres. You can dismember them, you can destroy their armor.
So this big ogre, I can I take off limbs, things
Yes,
like that?
absolutely,
Really?
and you'll see some of that in just a second. You can climb all over him with all of those traversal options we showed earlier. So here you go, he's going to destroy this piece of armor.
Yep.
And now he's going to be going for the leg here shortly. You'll see your first ogre dismemberment here as he falls down. But in a lot of games, when you fight giant monsters like this, you don't really get to fight them, right?
Yeah.
Instead, it's more of an abstraction. So for example, they might have an HP bar, and then as you hack at their toe, their HP goes down, and then eventually they fall over dead. Or maybe you're just you're doing a quick time event or something, pressing buttons at certain cues to make predefined animations happen. That is not the case here. This is actual real-time skill-based combat against these guys. And the way that you know that you're winning the fight is you're actually destroying their armor, hacking them into bits, and ultimately trying to take them down. So here, after taking off his arms so he can't really defend himself, we're going in for the kill strike, and we're going to see our first ogre decapitated.
An ogre decapitation, only.
Yep.
3-3. Look at how. Where's
Now,
the head? The head didn't fall down. It just disappeared.
The head disappeared, and then the body fell down.
Okay.
Now, actually, this...
Why can't the head fall down?
Well, so actually, Avil absorbs the
Yes.
bits of the ogre that he chops off and turns them into his energy that he then uses to kill other ogres.
All right,
So what you'll see is these parts of
fictional-
his arm disintegrating, the head disintegrating, things like that,
Okay.
as he absorbs them into his rune blade.
Okay.
So yeah, what you're seeing here is a different ogre with some different skills and equipment.
Can't see no more.
Sorry?
Ogre can't see no more. He's got
Yeah, he's got his eyes covered up by this helmet. And this one's actually wearing a collar which has to separately be removed. You can see that while you're fighting the ogres, you also have to contend with their minions, which knock you down, try to take you off of them. And but this time, Avil's in a rush, so he's not able to protect himself, kill all the minions first.
Right.
So he's going for the kill shot here, and you'll see the second ogre drop and fall.
Oh, wow. All right.
And of course, in this game, 2 ogres is not the end of it. The ogre horde is endless and keeps coming and coming, and things are bleak for humanity. It's Avil's job to save as much as possible, but the reason the game is titled Extinction is because the war is not going particularly well from humans. And so victory at the end is measured in how many lives you can save, as opposed to this idea that maybe you could ever win and stop it.
So as we go through this environment, how often are we going to see ogres? Like, is it
All the time.
All the time. Okay.
Yeah, all the time. So the ogres are coming in hordes, different varieties and hordes with different weapons, armor, skill, things like that. Every one is its own unique challenge, requires different strategies and tactics to take down. Depending on exactly what the situation are, you may also be able to use parts of the environment to your advantage, climb up tall buildings, launch yourself off of ramps, take advantage of cranes and other moving objects in the environment to move yourself around dynamically in order to evade their strikes. One thing I should mention is that this game is, like I said, the combat is very realistic, in which I mean if you get hit by one of these ogres, you're just dead. One hit and it's over, you die. We do have respawn, so the mission's not completely over, but the way that you stop that is you actually have the ability to slow down time when you're fighting against these ogres. So when you're using your whip, which functions as a grappling hook, or when you're charging up your rune strikes, time slows down, and so you can actually see this ogre's coming in for this massive hammer blow, and then you can dodge it, get out of the way.
Wow. Now, as you sort of play through this environment, obviously there are these big battle moments. When you're not in battle against an ogre, what does the combat look like against other?
So the combat that's not against the ogres is against the ogre's minions. And
Okay.
so that's what we were showing off earlier. You have a whole bunch of different attacks that you can chain together in all sorts of various ways. But one of the main things that you're doing when you're not fighting either the ogres or their minions is saving people. So each of the levels is decked out with tons of refugees that are scattered throughout the level. And one of your objectives are to save as many of them as possible. And the ogres are going to keep coming, their minions are going to keep coming, and it's all a question of how many people you can get to safety.
All right. Well, it looks really cool. You know, people love big scale combat, and know you said Iron Galaxy has a great history of doing a lot of fighting games. When will we get to see more of Extinction? When's it coming out?
So the game itself is coming out early next year,
Yep.
Q1 2018.
Okay.
And you know, stay tuned. Go to extinction.com. Follow @ExtinctionMG on Twitter to keep up with the latest updates. We'll have a lot more stuff rolling out shortly.
All right. We appreciate you bringing by a first look at Extinction. We can't wait to see more, and thanks for stopping by.
Great,
Appreciate it.
awesome.
Yeah.